Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana for those who are new here, and today's tutorial is all about my signature summer makeup. So if you want to know how I achieve my signature look, keep watching. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm taking the Morphe eyebrow pencil in the color chocolate, and I'm just going to lightly fill in my brows. I actually put a little bit of setting powder on my brows just to make sure that they're not super shiny. Now I'm going to take the spoolie that comes with the pencil and I'm just going to blend out my brows. Now I'm going to be taking a concealer that is 3 shades lighter than me, and I'm going to begin to carve out under my eyebrows. Usually I would go in with a concealer that is closer to my skin tone in the front of my brow, but I'm going to be underpainting, so I decided not to do that. And of course, what you do on one side, you have to do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to take this brush and blend out the concealer under my eyebrows. So I thought I was filming and I wasn't. I just took a concealer that was 3 shades or maybe even 2 shades darker than me, which is a concealer I'm using right now. And I just put that in my crease and blended it out. So I'm just using that concealer just to map out my contoured areas. So this makeup look is going to consist of concealers. Literally, it's going to be a concealer that is lighter than me with 2 to 3 shades and a concealer that is 2 shades darker than me. So yeah, it's just going to use face powder, bronzer, a little blush, and keep it cute, no foundation. Of course, I'm just going to blend everything out and make sure there is no harsh lines. Now I'm going to be taking my concealers, which is a Tarte Shape Tape, and I also mixed it with a Juvia's Place concealer. If you know about Juvia's Place, you know she's super dewy, and if you know about Tarte Shape Tape, baby, she is matte beyond compare. I definitely love mixing these two concealers. I love the consistency that it gives me. Of course, I love me a full coverage look with my concealer, so I'm just gonna make sure that it's getting exactly where I need it to be. So yeah. So to blend out my concealer today, I chose a powder puff. I go between a damp beauty blender and a powder puff. I just love them equally. So like I said, I just gravitated towards the puff today. So we're just gonna make sure everything is nice and seamless. Please take your time when you're blending out your concealer. I actually let it sit for a little bit before I blend it out, just because I love me a full coverage look. So I'm just going to take that brush that I used with the liquid contour, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm blending out the edges of my concealer. I love to blend, literally just making sure that everything is nice and seamless. I added a little bit of concealer down the bridge of my nose just to make sure that I have that highlighted and chiseled look that I'm obsessed with. So I'm just going to do a little bit more blending. Like I said, blending out your concealer, especially under your eyes, is essential. So you're going to see me blending away and away, literally. I'm going to take my brush one more time and just make sure that my contour and my brightening concealer is basically merged and looks seamless. It's nothing like having a seamless face. So now I'm going to take the rest of my concealer and I'm just going to put it on my eyelids. I didn't do any eyeshadow this day, but I just feel like this is just the icing on the cake. You know, you just highlighted and contoured your face, so why not highlight and contour your eyelids? I don't know, I just felt like doing it. I'm going to take my powder puff and blend that in and just make sure everything is nice and seamless. Seamless is key, just to make sure that everything looks good, and especially if you're doing like a no eyeshadow look, you just want everything to be clean. I'm obsessed with just flawless makeup and blended makeup. So now I'm gonna take that brush and just make sure everything is blended down the bridge of the nose, on my eyelids, my crease. I just need it to be blended. I think I have an obsession with it being blended, but I'm about to set under my eyes, so of course we're gonna go back into a little bit more blending. I feel like makeup is 99% blending and 1% application. I just feel like you just need to blend. Now I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender with some setting powder, and I'm just going to set under my eyes, and I'm gonna push that powder in and make sure it's totally locked in. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I like to make sure it's locked in before I go in with my baking powder. And wherever I use the concealer, I'm going to use that setting powder to make sure everything is locked into place. So now I'm going to take my bronzer and I'm just going to make sure that I'm setting where I put that contouring concealer. So down the bridge of the nose, the crease, the chin, the jawline, everything. We're just going to put that powder and make sure we're setting that concealer. I'm going to go in with that same setting powder and I'm going to bake with it. And of course, we're going to put it in the areas where we highlighted. Now I'm adding some peachy blush just to the apples of the cheeks and right between the contour and the highlighted area, just to give my face a little bit of color. And then of course, we're going to blend that out with the contour. And I'm going to add some face powder to this area right here because I didn't add any foundation. We literally just used highlighting concealer and contouring concealer. So I just wanted to add some to that area. I'm gonna add some bronzer to my crease and now I'm gonna go in with some liner. It's nothing like a liner and some lashes, especially when you're not wearing any eyeshadow. So I feel like this just seals the deal. And of course, my #1 tips are look in the mirror. Don't close your eyes and just take your time and you should be fine. I'm going to take a little bit of concealer and just clean up my wing, and I'm going to take a clean brush with a little bit of setting powder to tap it in and set it in place. I'm going to take this brush that has powder foundation on it and I'm going to tap under my eyes to push in that setting powder, and I'm literally going to use whatever is left on the brush to just blend out my entire face. I just like to use my powder foundation just as a buffer. It just allows everything to look nice, smooth, and seamless and blended with each other. Now I'm taking a powder foundation that is lighter than me and I'm going to just set under my eyes. I don't like my setting powder to be the last powder under my eyes. It just makes me feel like it's not blended. So the same thing I just did with the powder foundation, it's the same thing but just for under the eyes. And of course, this is a lighter tone. And this will also ensure that everything is nice and blended with each other. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of my face powder under the eyes over everything, even though I just put a little bit of the brightening powder under the eyes. I just feel like this step just ensures that everything is nice and seamless. Now it's time to melt all the powders we've used, so I'm going to take my setting spray, drench my face, and just make sure everything is nice and locked in. And of course, my look would not be complete if I didn't pop on some lashes. It just seals the deal in my opinion. And of course, my tip is to look down in the mirror and make sure you're getting as close to the lash line as possible. And you're pinching your lashes and your real lashes together. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that face powder and just make sure I'm prepping around my mouth to get ready for this lip combo. So now we're going to pop on our lip liner. I like to try to accentuate my lips. They're full, but I feel like lip liner is one of the things I really don't like. I don't like to do it on myself, and I don't like to do it on clients. Like, that's the least favorite part, but just because I don't like it doesn't mean that I can't perfect it. So of course, you're gonna see me just chiseling out my lips and getting ready for the next step. As you can see, I'm going back with my powders, just making sure everything is good. When I tell you this is my least favorite, it's my least favorite because I'm just always trying to perfect it and always trying to make sure that it is perfect, because I know that I don't like to do this step. So I do try to give it a little extra time. But now we're gonna pop on some gloss and just accentuate everything. I feel like the gloss looked really pretty with the burgundy lip liner, and yeah, I just wanted something nice and soft since you know it's a soft signature summer makeup look. And this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed my signature summer makeup, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This look was so pretty. Until my next video, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
You should just know, babe. You should just know. I've been thinking about it, praying for the weekend.